Hey, buddy.
Raw.
Hey, man, that's a sweet heavy metal happy hour t-shirt. Where'd you pick that up?
Thanks, dude. I got it at the Toxic Radio shop.
Toxic Radio has a shop?
Yeah, dude. It's in the app or online at toxicradio.net.
That is sweet.
Yeah, and I also got a rockin' Toxic Radio hoodie and a Red Band Underground shirt. Dude, I'm gonna look so rockin' at the party tomorrow.
Well, I think you look pretty now.
Oh, wait, what?
The Toxic Radio shop is the place to get all your Toxic Radio gear. Shirts, hoodies, stickers. Find it at toxicradio.net or on the app. Don't buy it safe. Buy it toxic. Hey, where you going, man? Planning your Saturday night can be a bit of a bitch. How about we make rock, not war? Load up Toxic Radio every Saturday night for the heavy metal happy hour with the one and only Fishman.
I don't know how to put this, but I'm kind of a big deal.
There will be interviews, ticket giveaways, a little bit of banter with Toxic Mike, and of course great metal from the 80s all the way through today. Starts at 7 p.m., runs until Fish says it's over.
Get out.
Catch it only on Toxic Radio. Don't play it safe. Play it toxic. Spring is here. After months of being inside, no, your promo is done. We are finally free to go outside once again.
It's about damn time.
Make sure to make Toxic Radio part of your fun with the free app. Whether it's mowing the lawn, a round of golf,
Oh, what the hell? Sorry.
bird watching, or even streaking. Whatever you're doing, make us your soundtrack. Spring is back. Make it toxic.
What's up, everyone? Welcome back to Taking It Deep with the Godfrey. We have a lot of fire to talk to you about today. People might get pissed off, but I don't give a shit because there's nothing you can do about it. Unless Mike fires me, which he won't, because he can't. I have naked photos of things. I can blackmail him.
Of things.
So, got a lot of topics today. Joe Rogan, was he wrong for what he said? Dr. Fauci, was he wrong for what he said? And they're connected. I'm going to tell you why later on. You'll have to stay tuned for that. Now, the first thing we're going to jump into, and I'm going to send a little bit of stuff here, is to Mike. I'm going to have him play a little video to get your appetite wet. For a visual, and there should be some audio. This is potluck, what we're playing right here. So it could be a screaming cheetah. I don't think so. But a Bronie. If you're not familiar with a Bronie, do you guys know what a Bronie is?
I know I've heard the term, but I can't quite remember.
It is people who like to pretend that they are a
Yes.
My Little Pony.
Yes, okay, I'm with you now. I've actually watched a few documentaries, a few videos that maybe I don't want to talk about, but yeah.
Wow.
What?
You're basically saying you just whacked into Bronies.
No, I'm not saying that. That is an incorrect assessment of what I just said.
You didn't watch Brony porn?
No.
You paused.
What?
Okay. Moving on. So, Bronies. Why am I talking about that? Well, I was listening to a show. You might have heard of it, called Howard Stern. And, I was thinking about this FedEx shooter. I was thinking about mental health. And I was thinking about what you have to be a Brony. So, the FedEx shooter, while I'm bringing this up, wrote about My Little Pony in a suicide note. That's right. This guy was 19 years old. Okay? Known to the police. And as you know, I've said on this program before that I think mental health is important, highly underrated, highly underutilized for those who do have access to it, and it's something that people should take advantage of. Now, if you are a Brony and you enjoy it, I hold nothing against you. I don't want to yuck your yums. Old school saying there for some of our listeners. And if that's your thing, that's your thing. I have no qualms, and I'm playing myself right here. So,
ladies and gentlemen,
Not with
he is a
myself.
professional. Just
I
to
am a
let you know.
professional, yeah.
He is a trained professional.
the Bronie-
Do not try this at home.
don't try it at home. I mean, we've seen people try podcasts at home, and they look like complete shit, to be
I've
honest.
seen so many
Yeah.
bad ones.
Hey, listen, your content takes a step back when it sounds like you're talking in a Dixie cup in your mom's basement. Just gonna let you know. And we here at Toxic can help you not sound like you're in a fucking Dixie cup. Just letting you know. That's our official commercial. Now, with that being said, a Bronie, man, oh man, he's gonna play the video. But Mike, your bugs didn't come in. The listeners were waiting for you to cram a cricket down your throat.
Yeah, they didn't come in. The place I was going to order them from did some research. I like to research any business I'm going to give my money to, obviously, and order anything from. I haven't ordered them from them for a while, and I noticed that their social media is like a year or two old. And I'm sorry.
Are they based out of China or Turkey?
No, they're actually based out of, I believe, Texas, somewhere south. But I will put this out there. If any of you are business owners and you do not update your social media at least a little bit, if your social media is a year or two older, I'm not buying from you. It just shows you have nothing to provide to your people. So I have to find another distributor for our bugs needs.
Yeah, so next week, hopefully, if things go right, Mike will be eating some more disgusting shit. So, literally.
So do you want
If you put hot sauce on it, he will eat it.
Oh yeah, that's
Whatever it is.
Well, kinda. Would you like to play this video?
Yes, play it
All
right
right,
now.
all
I
right.
want people to. You can just hear this and see it. It's that kind of shit show. Bronie, prepare for a high dose of cringe. Now we're not going to play the whole video, but I just want you to get. All right, fast forward it. Fuck this guy. Looks like a tool. Okay, fast forward this guy too. Told you this was potluck. Even worse. Keep going.
There are so many better YouTube videos.
I know.
for Bronies.
Find me a Bronie. Wait. Here we go.
Yes. Rarity. Rarity again? I'm gonna add her to my collection.
Oh wow. We're gonna get the fucking video taken down by My Little Pony.
By the way, I think that Mr. Godfrey is the worst YouTube video finder ever. let me. You know what?
Let's see if we can find something better.
I am
While
the
he
produ-
finds
I am
that,
the
I'll give you
producer. Yeah, I'm
yes,
the producer.
I
Let me
will,
do my work.
Come on, fo hi. I will get the description out to you guys. So tune in, be part of the show. We are on toxicradio.net, THEEGODFREY, The Godfrey. That's on Twitter. That's on Instagram and Facebook. Also, if you want, watch it live on Take It Easy with The Godfrey on Facebook. That is my page. Give it a like, give it a share. And youtube.com/playtoxic. You can also check it live there. Past videos on both of the platforms just mentioned, and our app on iTunes and Google, Toxic Radio. So you just download that. You can get all the past episodes and all of our other great programming on the radio station. So with that being said, yes, there's a reason why I brought this up. And it's kind of funny. I mean, I don't mean to laugh at people, but sometimes shit just makes you laugh, and you don't know what to do. These are grown-ass men. Some of them, if they love it, I'm all good. I'm not hating on them. Look at this guy.
It feels
Fun
like
time.
a giant hug.
Yo, you want a hug?
Yeah, I did want a hug.
Everyone, group hug.
That guy just nutted for the first time.
I love it. Like, I love that you can just keep on doing that.
We got to cover one of these, Mike.
So this is the video we should have had. This is a convention
So friendly.
of bronies.
Yeah, I'm afraid we're going to get cut off by whatever the fucking World of Weird Wonder is. I'm going to get an email from Facebook.
Whoever owns this video.
Yeah, they're hitting me up from 3 years ago about a
But so-
fucking Mozart 30-second clip on my fucking show. Like,
So
literally.
I would
today.
imagine that this happens at hotels of some kind. I just imagine walking into a hotel, you're just trying to get a good night's sleep, and you see this going on.
I mean, I would follow and be like, where's the fucking party? I'd be like, wait a second. This has to lead to something, right? I mean,
It would be harder to come out as
I mean, that jean jacket definitely shows I love My Little Pony.
Okay, if I be real talk for a second, I would
I love that he has the
Wait, he's
gloves
got
on.
real talk.
at least in the U.S. military now, homosexuals can serve openly, and there are protective laws against discriminating against homosexuals. There are no laws.
Okay,
you're not
good to
gonna
know.
get kicked out of the army for making fun of someone for being a brony.
That would never happen in the army.
Everyone is so open about their love for a cartoon aimed at little girls, and with good reason.
All the bronies that
I want you to notice there's a lot of girls missing from this.
I've been bullied. I know it hurts. I've been there, but there's no reason to get yourself to beat yourself up.
You been bullied?
Yes, I've been bullied.
On the Godfrey show.
Bullied, and it's gonna.
I feel kind of sorry for him.
And it's because of the gender stereotypes. If you're a boy, no matter what age, boys are supposed to like certain things, and that's what you're taught all your life.
Do you feel that, like, okay, so you was bullied before you was a brony?
Yes.
Now you are a brony.
Yes.
You still get bullied, but because you're part of the brony community,
Yes.
you don't care as much.
I don't.
Because you got other people to be like, hey, we're all in it together, and don't worry about them.
That's exactly.
It's strength in numbers.
There you go.
With the size of this.
Okay, that's enough.
I didn't know how far you wanted to go with it, dude. You kind of went on the fly with that.
No, that was perfect. I'm just saying that's enough. So you guys get the picture. It is definitely an eclectic or different
wait
type
a second.
of scene.
I have a question for you. Now I'm going to bring it up real fast. Now this guy, it looks like he is with his girlfriend, and she looks like she's very bronified. Do you think he's doing that just to get laid?
No.
No?
No, I think they fuck each other like My Little Pony in the bedroom. No, I'm serious.
Wait, I have nothing.
There's a such thing as furries, right?
I have nothing against a girl wearing a tail in the bedroom.
Yeah, I heard that about you. But, hey, listen. Again, you're my friend, okay? Is it a virginity convention? Possibly. Something tells me there's a few people that have been laid there. However, here's the thing. I bring this up because Howard Stern was playing it, and I didn't find the clips. I'll find it later on and play it. But they had people say, like, tell me what Ajax the pony sounds like, or things of that nature. And what I'm going to get into is here, this was part of the guy's suicide note. Now, if you're a brony lover, or that's what you do, and you're mentally healthy, I'm pretty sure that's completely possible. That might be a majority of the time. However, the difference here is it's mentioned in his suicide note. So we have to have, I forget the word I'm saying here, context. Context matters, right? So I'm not by all means saying, if you're a listener of Take It Deeply Godfrey and you love bronies and you're a brony, we appreciate you listening. And if you are, please call. I'll pay you. Literally, if you are. You have to prove you're a brony, though. So all you jabronis looking for an extra $20, don't be fucking dialing in, all right? But if you do want to dial in, 856-485-9565 for free, you can do that if you want to ask a question. But a brony. So I'm back to this guy's suicide note. Sad situation. We don't want to make fun of it. He was 19 years old. What could bring a young, healthy 19-year-old man to do something of this nature, right? The mom was worried about it. So the teenager who shot and killed 8 people at FedEx warehouse in Indianapolis wrote about My Little Pony in a Facebook post less than an hour before going on a shooting rampage and taking his own life. That's right. So he was so distraught that he had to talk about My Little Pony. Where was this young man's head at, right? Did they try to help him? I don't know if they tried to help him. Good question. It sounds like mom did try to help him, in my opinion, and she is probably distraught over it because her son did something horrific and she lost a son as well. So I couldn't imagine how she's feeling, and, my thoughts go out to her because it is a serious situation, but it just points to mental health. And I want to get more into this kid's profile because I really think when we look at it, you got to ask yourself some questions. And I was listening to Stern, he was talking about it, and, he makes fun of it like I do, but he was like, wow. If I had a son and he was into My Little Pony, I might have a problem with it. I'm not going to lie. My son. I'm not going to abuse him, but I'm going to be like, you like My Little Pony, huh? How about this football? You like that? And guess what? It's my fucking son, so you can fuck yourself. If I had a son, I could do that. Nothing wrong with it. I know how you judge you motherfuckers out there and want to tell people what to do all the time. Oh, you can't. No. Shut up. Shut up. I could do what I want. I'm not hurting anybody, and neither is the brony people. So that's how I feel about that. Do you agree, Mike?
I stand with the bronies.
All right, well, yeah. Do you like tails?
I definitely do.
What color tail do you prefer?
Black and white. Or purple.
Wow, you had to like pivot back. You're like, wait. I was just jerking off about that last night. Purple. Is that called a Barney tail?
I don't know, but it is a trend that is going on, especially in the TikTok world, that I've jumped on board with.
Why not? I appreciate that. So, Alex says, I was bullied growing up. I think it's hard to find a guy who wasn't bullied. My advice, out-bully or bully. Okay, so what Alex did is he dropped a nutsack on the guy, kind of in retaliation. I'm going to guess that's what he did. Maybe a nutsack.
We were all bullied. Any kind of nerd or any kind of person. I mean, I don't think Godfrey was ever bullied. He looks more jock than bully.
No, people tried to bully me.
More jock than being bullied.
People tried to bully me, but then they would get their ass beat because
Godfrey definitely looks like the bullier, not the bullyee.
No, I would stick up for the weird kids because I wasn't the popular kid at school, but they wouldn't fuck with me because they knew I would punch them in the mouth. So that's where I was.
I had a girl. I had no friends at the during recess, so I'd walk around looking up at the stars and the sky. I don't know why I was looking up at stars in the middle of recess in the middle of the day, but looking up at the clouds. And a girl actually threw a giant rock at my head and split my head open because I was the nerd who was
that's
just
called
walking around.
That's called assault. That's called assault.
Well, what do you call this? The teacher at the time, Mrs. Citro. Mrs. Citro saw,
you're being called out, biatch.
Saw that I was bleeding profusely from the head from this rock that hit me. And to me, the rock fell out of the sky.
She threw paper towels at you.
I was looking at the sky.
Clean up yourself, young man.
And it fell out of the sky into my head, and I was bleeding into my eyeball. And she came over, and all she had on her was a notepad, and she took the pieces of paper, crumpled them up, and put them against my head to try and absorb the blood with pieces of paper.
Teacher.
What?
She was a nice teacher. I thought we were going the other way with this. Totally read that wrong.
Wait, she was a nice teacher. You have a piece of paper in front of you. How absorbent is that paper?
She was probably shocked that someone just tried to kill you like Goliath or like David. Who's reenacting Bible scenes in the hallway? Why are we throwing rocks?
Here's the best part. Now I go to the nurse's office and I get it all taken care of. And I go back to class and another girl has the rock. The kids picked up the rock that hit me in the head and made me bleed, and they saved the rock to show me later on that this is the rock that hit you in the head.
What was your response to them?
Shock. I thought they were going to throw it at me again.
You didn't get revenge?
No. I cried because my Batman shirt got blood on it.
We need to have Mama Francolino call in. Why did she not teach you revenge? I know she's listening. There needed to be revenge. Okay, so getting back to the Bronie. I hope that I can, this is a quote from him in his post. I hope that I can be with Applejack in the afterlife. My life has no meaning without her. Brandon Scott Hole, that's his name, 19 posted at 10:19 p.m. The Wall Street Journal reported. This is legit reporting. The shooting started at around 11 p.m. on Thursday. Applejack is the main character in the children's cartoon My Little Pony. Friendship is Magic's first broadcast in 2010. Mr. Hole, I can't believe that's his name, had 2 Facebook accounts dedicated to show that were removed by social media giant following the shooting after requests from law enforcement, according to internal memo acquired. While law enforcement hoped that Mr. Hole's online activity would help shed light on his motive for the attack, the Facebook memo said the gunman's accounts were mostly focused on the cartoon show.
We have a picture of Applejack Pony on this.
She's a beautiful blonde. So, there was an interview and they're like, "Why do you like Applejack?" And the one guy's like, "I like blondes." I'm like, "Wow, this is like you got to hear some interviews with these people." That's all I'm gonna say. Now, so-called bronies, a mix of bro and ponies. That's what it is. If you haven't guessed that already, it's not a really shouldn't be a hard crossword puzzle to figure out. Is a subculture of adult men. So this is where I have a problem with it. Adult men, okay, fixated on the program and has displayed elements of far-right and white nationalist extremism. I'm not sure if that is true or not, but okay. That's not why I'm bringing this up. Also, though, it points to the mental state of individuals if they're involved with this, if they do resort to that. The memo stated, but it also said Mr. Hole's post showed no signs that this was part of his motivation for the rampage. Again, that's why I wasn't bringing that up, but part of the article. This is on yahoonews.com. And I will give it to Mike. And Mike, I'm going to have you post it on the page for these people. This article, in case you guys want to reference it. Okay. Now, while the fan group is mostly made up of those who generally like the show, it has also drawn out pedophiles and white supremacists who share hate messages via fan art. Okay. So, here's the thing. So-called bronies, a mix of bronies and ponies, is a subculture of adult men, right? Fixated on the program. So, they said there was no signs of that as being his motivation. I'm like, okay. Assistant media studies professor at the University of Georgia, Ann Gilbert, told The Atlantic in 2020, this is a fan community that has prided itself on permissiveness and pushing boundaries and cloaking themselves in irony and the idea that they can make mainstream uncomfortable. That has been a source of pride. As the show came on air, many members of the subculture had links to the military, which we saw, and we didn't know that. See, this is the way I like to do things on this show. I like to read stuff for the first time. I'll know about it when you read it for the first time. Now, some people may disagree with that for, smoothness of the reading, but the reason why I like doing that is because both of our reactions are fresh, all right? You might disagree. I don't give a fuck. I saw Mike's hand stroking up and down. You can go fuck yourself, Mike. Been thinking about bronies all week. Not in that way, though. So, as the show came on air, many members of the subculture, like I said, have links to the military. So the story continues. The first BronyCon, a gathering of fans of the show, was held in 2011 with 100 attendees. The convention ballooned to as many as 10,000 fans. But organizers ended the forum after holding the last event in 2019, argued that the interest was waning. Of course it was. Law enforcement has yet to announce a motive for the shooting, but the Sikh Coalition has called for an investigation into whether bias could have been a factor. So, police have said that about 90% of the employees at the Indianapolis FedEx facility are members of the Sikh religious community. So, they're saying it could have had something like that. I don't know. Maybe it did. But this, and you can read the rest of this, all right? Now, again, people are saying we need gun control. We need Godfrey hates show prep. You're fired, Brad. So, I do not hate show prep. But with this kind of stuff, I'm not going to read you the whole article. But this guy needed help. He was able to buy 2 assault rifles, one in July and another in September of last year, despite having had his shotgun confiscated after his mother called authorities and expressed concern about his mental health. Mom did her job. Mr. Hole was for a short period placed under psychiatric detention after his mother reported to law enforcement that he was considering suicide by cop. Suicide by cop. You hear that one? FBI agents found no crime had been committed. When they interviewed him in April, Paul Keenan said the special agent in charge of the FBI's Indianapolis field office said that Mr. Hole had no racially motivated violent extremist ideology. So, Republican Senator Todd Young questioned whether the state's red flag law had been enforced properly in the case of Mr. Hole, that the state had the new law in the book since 2005 and allows authorities to seize guns from people who are considered to possibly be a danger to them or themselves. So here's the thing. I'm a gun owner, I'm a gun supporter, but there needs to be reform. That's a whole nother side question, all right? I'm not here to get into that debate. It's like chasing a tail because everybody's so retarded on it.
I know how to reform it.
Yeah. They want to come up with what won't work instead of solutions. So we're not getting that conversation. But as far as this young man's profile, he had psychiatric issues, okay, to say the least. Maybe he had trouble making friends. Maybe he didn't. This is a thing where we're seeing a lot of shit happening. And I believe, not to say we don't need gun reform, that if guns were, I guess, like not as plentiful as they are in the United States, there would be other shit going on that would have this kind of violence happening. I really, really believe that. Because it's not just that. It's the state of the mind of some of these young men doing it. I mean, if you think I'm wrong, look at the profile of most of them that have done it. All of them. You get almost 100%. And, we're so desensitized. Like, oh, another 8 people. What? And the guy's writing about My Little Pony. This guy's so whacked out. He's saying, I can't live without My Little Pony. What happened? I mean, where are we sinking the resources? Where's the money going? Right? That's what I always ask. Where is that going? And none of these politicians are going to give a fuck until it happens to one of their kids. That's what's going to happen. Then they'll give a shit. They'll find religion. I'll give you an example. You might hate me for this, but the Reagans didn't give a shit about AIDS until their friend got it. Their Hollywood friend got AIDS. Then they were all about it. And that's how they act. They don't care until it happens to one of their kids or their family members. And that's the problem here. We're not attacking this properly. This is a mental health crisis. I mean, guys, correct me if I'm wrong here. Is that mind-blowing that this guy went and offed 8 people for he was upset? He didn't have friends. He got bullied. You know, maybe there's a lack of parenting. It sounded like mom tried to reach out for help. Like, that's all we were able to offer. I guarantee if you go to other countries, that would not be the extent of the help that was offered developed countries. Maybe even underdeveloped countries would have offered more help. Am I crazy? Or am I speaking fact here? Okay. Well. But Godfrey doesn't hate show prep. Fuck you, Brad. I saw his comment again. So,
I know you said you didn't want to go down this road, but I do. If you ever want to talk about it, I'm going to put this out there, and you can just kibosh it, put it to the side, say "Shut up, Mike." I do have a Toxic Mike special version of how to handle gun control in America.
Okay, well, we're gonna put that in the parking lot over here.
All right. So everybody watching, anybody gun nuts, we're gonna put that on a back burner for a future episode. But I've got it all handled. Just trust me.
There's so many factors that go into it, but we'll talk about this. So, I mean, if you look at this kind of stuff, like, are we really getting upset about it like we should be anymore? I mean, 19. A lot of us have had rough childhoods. A lot of us has had, I would die for Fraggle Rock. Me too. Wembley's a fucking badass dude. So, you know, Jamie kind of reminds me of the Trash Heap. Kind of. No, I'm just joking. Have you ever seen the Trash Heap, Jamie? No? Trash Heap was awesome. So, Fraggle Rock is awesome. Good reference there. My Little Pony is stupid. Fraggle Rocks eat My Little Pony's ass. So, that being said, oh yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Look at that hair, man. I think that if Francolino had a kid, it would kind of look like that. Oh wow. We're gonna definitely get. You know, we're getting kicked off the air now, right? Because we paid. This is definitely copyrighted. We're fucked. Yep. Okay. We're definitely getting kicked off the air now. So, that being said, that's all I got about the Bronie. But the mental health thing, I mean, it's just like, is that really what the guy put in his suicide note? Like, not he went bankrupt, not I just lost 5 family members. None of it's a good excuse. But, really? You know? Oh, I like this comment. Mike, you got a special on how to handle getting harassed when you don't tip?
Yeah, it's easy. You don't tip and you leave. Nobody harasses you.
Oh, God.
That's how that goes. It's very simple. Boom. Special's done.
Thank God for Laura. Thank God for Laura.
The great thing about it is
you're laughing at your own joke right now, and it's like liking your own post.
I don't care. I will laugh at my own joke. You tip at the end of the meal. You leave the tip on the table. They don't know it until you've walked away. It doesn't
so you don't
matter.
you think that I'm going to pretend like it's never happened, but you think that the times that it happened that no one's ever noticed you. You think you're slipping in and out of there like fucking Spider-Man. You're delusional. They fucking know.
Oh, in my world, I'm done. The meal is over. I'm heading
But in
home.
your head, you think you're slipping out of there like fucking spy versus spy.
Yes.
Not a chance. I bet you they know.
I mean, well, who knows? They know that I didn't tip.
We should send you out with a hidden camera and
see
we should send you out with a hidden camera and just see what happens.
That's their world. I mean, the only time that I actually have to look at their face when I'm not tipping is like pizza or Chinese food. But nowadays, I don't have to do that because it's up to whether or not you tipped on your card.
You don't tip at Taco Bell anyway. So listen, we're moving on to Joe Rogan. He came up in the news this week because he said 21-year-olds shouldn't really get a vaccine. So I'm going to have I'm going to have Mike play that clip for you,
We're
Toxic
playing
Mike.
every clip to try and get kicked off Facebook today.
Yeah, well, we might as well go for fucking broke. I'm going to get like 9 emails from like Warner Brothers.
All right, here we go.
And people say, do you think it's safe to get vaccinated? I've said, yeah, I think for the most part it's safe to get vaccinated. I do.
Oh, sorry.
Hey, should I get vaccinated? I go, no.
No.
Are you healthy? Are you a healthy person?
So pause it right there.
Don't do anything stupid.
So what he said is or just rewind it a little bit. I want you to hear because that's a key point. And just hit play.
21 years old, and you say to me, "Should I get vaccinated?" I go, "No."
Yeah.
Are you healthy? Are you a healthy person? Like, look, don't do anything stupid, but you should take care of yourself. You should, if you're a healthy person and you're exercising all the time, and you're young and you're eating well, and like, I don't think you need to worry about this.
Yeah, I tend to agree with you.
But there's a lot of jobs that will tell you need to have this.
Well, that's what's starting to happen now.
People are worried about them doing it for their children. And we talked
My
about
job's
this
not doing
earlier.
it.
There's that you might have to have your children vaccinated. And, you know, I can tell you as someone who's both my children got the virus, it was nothing. I mean, I hate to say that. If someone's children died from this, I'm very sorry that happened. I'm not in any way diminishing that, but I'm saying the personal experience that my children had with COVID was nothing. One of the kids had a headache. The other one didn't feel good for a couple days.
Yeah.
Like, maybe, I mean, not feel good, like no big deal. No coughing,
Right.
no achy, no like in agony. There was none of that. It was very mild. It was akin to them getting a cold.
Yeah, and you can have this thing where it's like you were saying, this virtue signaling and this kind of like theatrical display of I get the vaccine, what a good person I am, I care about everyone. But you're like, look, my daughter's a lot younger than your kids, but I'm like, yeah, I'm not injecting my daughter with something to fucking virtue signal. Like,
Right.
I'm not doing that.
Right.
If there's something that she's of no risk, statistically has no risk from,
Right.
I'm sorry, I'm not taking any experiment on her in that. And that's my attitude
But
toward
it's
it.
amazing that that's controversial.
Yeah.
That even saying that I'm not going to inject my child with the vaccine is controversial.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Because, again, we are not talking about even the flu that we just found out killed 22,000 people last year. We're not talking about that.
Right.
We're talking about something that is not statistically dangerous for children. But
Yeah.
yet people still want you to get your child vaccinated, which is crazy to me.
Yeah.
Like, you should be vaccinated if you are vulnerable.
So here's the thing. This is what interests me about this. Okay. Joe Rogan is a comedian. He is a MMA broadcaster. Sports, right? He is a podcast host. He is not a medical professional, and nor does he claim to be. People do not go to his show for medical advice. These are two guys having a conversation, okay? Is he wrong for what he said? It's borderline. Shocking that I'm saying that, right? But we do need to acknowledge both sides of the fence here. And one side we need to acknowledge is the fear-mongering that does go on, okay? And I think what Joe's pointing to, and he's been pointing to it for a lot of the past year, and there is some truth to it, 78%, and this is a real stat, you want to call me on it, look it up, I'll pay you fucking $20 if you tell me it's wrong. It's out there. 78% of people who are hospitalized with COVID, what ailment do you think they had? What was the most common one? You guys want to take a guess? I want one shot.
No taste, no smell?
No. There was something, it was a pre-existing condition.
Oh, sorry. I misunderstood the question. I don't know.
Obese.
Oh.
78% of people hospitalized with COVID were obese.
And that goes to Joe Rogan saying people that stay fit, stay healthy, really didn't have an issue with this. Yeah.
Well, there are some people that get it, but what I do notice, because I'm a big sports guy, is that athletes seem to recover really quickly. But I did read stories about athletes where they said it was hell. Now, those were baseball players. Some argue that baseball players aren't in that great a shape. These two guys actually are. Now, here's the thing. Joe's not right. Joe's not wrong. Is he right by saying that 21-year-old shouldn't get it? Joe Rogan didn't do a show prep. He has a guy named Jamie that does it. My Jamie doesn't know how to turn on the auxiliary. So you trade my Jamie for his Jamie, Brad, and we're going to be rocking and rolling. I love you, Jamie. No, I'm just saying. So, true story, he has a guy named Jamie. But
just keep that up. I'll just shut you off.
It might happen by accident anyway. So here's the thing. He's not wrong and he's not right. Should you get vaccinated if you're younger? Yes. With him and the anti-vaxxers out there, yeah, you're annoying. Measles, you should get fucking vaccinated for. There's case studies of where there was whole communities who were like, we're not going to do it. What happened at measles breakout at a school in Minnesota? The Somalian community didn't want to do it, and there's other people in that community in Minnesota, and it happened. Factual, true story. Now, these are proven vaccines. Now, if people are hesitant because they got approved for emergency use, I understand that. That is okay. I'm not going to get mad at anybody about that. If you want to take your time and want it to be more fully vetted, I'm okay with that. That's your individual choice. There's nothing wrong with that. And people shouldn't be shamed for it. But, you know, if people want to say I got my vaccine, it's kind of, for me, when they do it, and I didn't do it myself, it's kind of like saying, yay, I'm free. It's a signal of the light at the end of the tunnel. So you sour pieces of shit that are out there like, you shouldn't be virtue signaling, blah, 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 blah. And then you're doing the same shit when you hit reply, like, and I hear, like, cute little comments like, I didn't have Tito's tonight. You know, like, oh, I had my vodka, you know, like the same I got my vaccine. You're stupid. You're childish and you're dumb. You're raining on people's parade and you're a crab just because you believe your stupid conspiracy shit. Like, I gave you the reason that's good for not wanting to get it. If you don't want to have your kid get it, that's great too. But the reason why that Joe is wrong is because the idea here is if less people have it, more people have the vaccine, you can get herd immunity and things go back to normal quicker. So for me, I was on the fence, but it was a sacrifice for it. And I was like, you know what? I want to travel. I want to do it. And it's not a battle I'm willing to take. But at the same time, there is another side to this where people are too far the other way with their fear-mongering. And I'm going to play a video for you where Dr. Fauci says something where people should be even more mad at him than they are at Joe for this. Because he is a doctor that does infectious disease, okay? And I'm going to have him play this clip for you.
MSNBC's Mehdi
And you'll see.
Hassan pressed Dr. Anthony Fauci on statements that he made in March of last year when he repeatedly stated that, quote, people should not be walking around with masks. So Dr. Fauci gave his reasoning for that initial no mask messaging. Here's his defense.
Okay, at the time, three things were going on. We were told very clearly at the coronavirus task force, including by the Surgeon General, who's a good person all the way, that there was a clear shortage of masks. And if we went around recommending masks, the healthcare providers who were putting themselves in harm's way every single day would not have enough. Point number one. Point number two, there was no evidence at the time that masks outside of the setting of the hospital worked. There were
Stop
no
it there.
data to show
Stop
that.
it there. Do you hear what he just fucking said? There's no evidence at the time of data that showed masks worked outside of the fucking hospital. Are you shitting me? Get the fuck out of here. This is the head of infectious diseases. And he said something like that. What a shitty answer. Just don't fucking say that. So to me, we're going to get mad at, you know, and I had a friend that hit me up. She listens to the show. Maybe she is. She is a healthcare worker. And I understand her being upset at Rogan. But Rogan's not a health professional. This guy is. Okay? So how can you say something like that with a straight fucking face? I mean, does that sound strange hearing that out of his mouth? Right? A little strange? Okay, cool.
Oh, yeah.
Now, you're going to tell me you didn't have that data? Right? You could have found that out easily. Why? Because masks already existed. Now, did you want to keep it from the 3 mask getting overrun? Yes. This was during the Trump administration when this came, and I'm not blaming this on Trump. This guy just said that. We didn't have any data. What? So what happened to being cautious? Yeah. So what happened to... So to me, I hear more about Joe Rogan because he's popular or unpopular than I hear about this. And I lean left. But the left, they love coming after Joe. They don't come after this guy, though, but they come after Joe. People I know on the left are saying, oh, you're just nitpicking with Dr. Fauci. I'm like, listen, I'm not saying I don't like him. I'm not saying he doesn't do a good job. I'm saying that was bullshit. So, to me, and Alex, I'm right there with you. I miss traveling. So that's why I got the vaccine. I want to travel. I don't give a fuck. You know what? There's a lot of other shit that I know I put in my body that is probably pretty shitty. So guess what, guys? Get off your fucking high horse with your stupid religion. That being said, I feel like Rogan's talking about this. He's having a conversation. Fauci's getting interviewed on the news, and they're pressing him about it. Continue. Play that clip a little bit there for me, Mike. Want them to hear a little bit more.
Number 3, we did not know that at least 50% of the infections were being spread asymptomatically, namely by people that had no symptoms. That's the reason why, at that time, I and others made that statement.
Oh, Mike's too cheap to pay for premium. We'll come back when. We'll come back when that commercial's over.
Is that what premium does?
Yes, and you can play it in the background. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, and you get music.
How much is premium for YouTube?
You get YouTube music with it too. We'll talk about it later. It's actually a pretty good buy, Mike.
We'll have a little meeting about it.
Yeah. So, is that a commercial right now playing? What is that, like a fucking 401k commercial? It depends. I don't know.
Shut up.
Yeah. So, wow, that's a long. Is there a skip button?
No, there isn't.
Oh my God, they're fucking us. And then they're gonna say, "Hey, all right, here we go. I want you to hear Sagar."
Approach to vaccines, specifically why administration officials are even still wearing masks despite being vaccinated. Let's watch that.
We recognize we're not always the best messengers. That's why we're working with these local organizations and groups, because we certainly know that President Biden and Vice President Harris may not be the right voices in a range of communities across the country. Two, we believe that part of our objective is to...
So what they're saying is, if they're in Mississippi, it might not go over, which is true. And that's a smart thing to do. The point of me bringing this up is the messaging is wrong. So I understand why people are skeptical of it. So when other people are skeptical of it, you need to be a little bit more tolerant of it and stop being insufferable assholes. Because I get that the vaccine needs to be taken. But for people to get mad at Joe Rogan, that's where people start piling on when they don't like somebody. Like another example is Joe Rogan was questioning the science about saying that a kid is, having gender identity issues at 7 years old. I question the science on it. Do I hate transgender people? No. I have a cousin that's transgender. I'll bring him on if you want me to. All right? But guess what? That's a fair question. And there's nothing wrong with asking that. But then he became anti-transgender because of that. And the Twitterati want to go crazy. Nobody you know online. And they're just piling on him. Because listen, I mean, what do you guys think? What he said, I disagree with. I think he's wrong. I do think if you're 21, you should get vaccinated, because here's the thing. It's not about you getting sick. It's because this is where Joe sounds like a dolt and his guest does. It's about you bringing it back to your dad. My nephew brought it back to my brother. He goes to college. I've always been one to say they should have kept the kids in school and kept the college kids the fuck home, but they didn't, because that would have cost their greedy asses too much money, and that's why they didn't do it. The kids should have been back in school. You did more psychological damage to the kids. And the college kids should have been sent home, because you can control a 10-year-old a lot more, or a 5-year-old, than you can a 21, 18, and 19-year-old that are at college partying, eating ass, and doing everything else. You know they're eating ass. Nasty.
What the fuck? Can I say something real fast? Can I interject? Would you mind?
Go ahead.
Oh, go for it.
Thank you, Jamie. Thank you, Jamie.
Now I got the guy behind the board. I just turned on the auxiliary mic. All right, Jamie, you host the show. Go ahead.
Dude, it's been on the entire show. I don't want to fucking hear it.
So here's
it has been. That's why we're doing it.
I totally agree with Joe Rogan, 100%. Here is why. The vaccine does not stop you from getting the virus, correct?
It significantly reduces it.
No. It significantly reduces...
At a very high percentage.
It significantly reduces the possibility of you getting overly sick or having to go to the hospital. The virus can still enter your body and actually manifest itself. You will not get any of the symptoms, and you will not get sick. That's what it is stopping from happening.
I think it makes it less contagious.
No, it does not. Look into it.
I have.
The virus can still be contagious. This is why, even though you have...
you can still be less contagious, and it still can be contagious.
This is why they're saying if you have the vaccine, you still have to wear a mask in public and around people that have not been...
not anymore as of yesterday.
No. Listen to me. As of yesterday, the new rule is you do not have to wear the mask outside and in small groups. And if you're around other people that are vaccinated, you do not have to wear the mask. But if you go in large groups or around others that are not vaccinated, you have to wear the mask. The reason being is because if you are vaccinated, you still can carry the virus and still can transmit the virus to others. So, with that being said, if what I am saying is correct and the information I have is correct...
It's kind of half correct, but I'll correct you.
If the information I have is correct, then Joe Rogan's assessment of the situation is 100% correct, because if his kids do not manifest any symptoms off of it or do not cough or sneeze or anything else, they are less likely to actually transmit it even though they have it.
You know what Joe Rogan could do that nobody else can?
Their symptoms are not there, but also they are not going to get sick from it. So it is that they are vaccinated because their immune system is able to tackle it way better than older individuals.
Here's the thing. Well, I'm going to read you what's on the CDC, and that will be our neutral site. Now, here's the thing about that. Joe Rogan has something that we don't have, millions of dollars. What does that mean? Because he's got what I like to call class privilege. He can keep his kids at home, homeschool them. He doesn't have to go to a 9-to-5 fucking job. His studio got COVID. He was testing everybody before they came in because his producer got COVID. So he definitely fucking believes in it when his right-hand man named Jamie.
He never said he doesn't believe in it.
No,
Everybody believes
right,
it.
But let me finish here. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is this is what he said was wrong in a sense where if you're 21, you don't need to get it. It's not about, remember what you just said. You said that you can still spread it even if you do get the vaccine. Now, I'm going to tell you what it says that the vaccine can and cannot do and what they're still learning. But what I'm trying to say is my nephew, for example, had it. It was like a day cold for him. My brother was down about 2 weeks, okay? Older than him. Now, it's going to affect everybody to a different degree depending on what you catch. Mine was a little bit more than mild. Mike was knocked out. He was a big puff. But no, that being said, with the vaccine, I think if you want it, that's fine. If you don't want to get it, that's great. But this is what we know, okay? We know that they're safe and effective. This is what we have. With the Johnson & Johnson, they paused it. I thought that was a mistake. You had about 7 or 8 out of 6.8 million. Give me a fucking break. More women get blood clots from birth control than that if you're really concerned about it. Made a mistake. So it typically takes 2 weeks after the vaccination for the body to build protection against immunity, against the virus that causes COVID-19. You're not fully vaccinated until 2 weeks after the second dose of a 2-dose vaccine or 2 weeks after a 1-dose vaccine. COVID vaccines are more widely accessible. Everyone 16 years and older is now eligible. Now, before they weren't. What I didn't have a problem with Joe saying was I think he was half saying, well, you get it. You don't get it because you're 21 because, you're ideally more healthy unless you're a Bronie, healthier. And it's for the more vulnerable, which they were telling people to do anyway recently, right? But he went a little bit too far with it. COVID-19 vaccines are more widely accessible, as I was saying. So what they're still learning. We are still learning how well vaccines prevent you from spreading the virus that causes COVID-19 to others, even if you do not have the symptoms. We are also still learning how long COVID-19 vaccines protect people. We are still learning how many people have to be vaccinated against COVID-19 before most people can be considered protected population immunity, herd immunity. We are still learning how effective vaccines are against new variants of the virus that causes COVID-19. However, they have done testing on this, and they have learned that it helps you build an immunity. That's the point. Okay?
Yes, I agree with that.
So
yes.
If you build up the immunity, it does that. Now, I think Joe is wrong in saying that a 21-year-old shouldn't get it because now, but here's my thing. He's not a doctor. He's
not a doctor. He's not a doctor, but again, your immune system is going to battle the virus. The virus is still entering your body. The virus still is in you. The virus still can be contracted.
You got the vaccine, did you not?
Yes, I got I'm 100% about the vaccine for the same reason you got the vaccine, not because I'm an unhealthy person. I got COVID. I was floored for a fucking week. I agree. It fucking sucks. I don't want to have COVID again. I got COVID a little bit harder than probably his kids do because I'm over the age of 40. But I'm a healthy individual, so it's not going to kill me in any way, shape, or form. I got the vaccine because of the simple fact that I have loved ones that obviously have a little bit more of a affected immune system, but also I would like to go out and do other things. It is the roll of the dice. It 100% is a roll of the dice.
Here's the thing I want you to understand.
Roll of the dice.
So remember earlier when I said 78% of people who were hospitalized with COVID were obese. People have a skewed version of what obese actually is. And people aren't going to want to hear this. So let's say you're 5'9", 169, 202 pounds. You're overweight. 203 pounds more, you're obese. There's a lot of obese people in the United States. That's a whole other conversation on what that is. I don't really blame people as much themselves as I blame the food we feed poor people, etc. That's all. Dollar General's being everywhere, high in salt and sodium. But anyway, that's a whole other conversation. The point of me bringing it up is, a lot of people are not as healthy as they actually fucking think they are. That was another problem in the United States.
Absolutely, 100%. A lot of people don't go to doctors, don't get checkups, do not know how actually healthy, because you could be skinny and unhealthy, and you could be obese and be healthier than the skinny person. People out there do not know how healthy.
Let me finish this definition though, because we only have so much time left.
Sorry, we can go over. Fuck that.
Oh. All right, cool. I'm not paying extra. So, COVID-19 vaccines teach our immune system how to recognize and fight the virus that causes COVID-19. It typically takes 2 weeks after vaccination. So think about the aliens that died in the War of the Worlds, right? The whole premise was they didn't know how to fight the cold because they'd never seen it before, and that's how they lost, right? They got the fucking sniffles. So here you go. It typically takes 2 weeks. I'm going to answer that, Alex, in a second. It typically takes 2 weeks after vaccination for the body to build protection, which you already said. That means it's possible a person could still get COVID-19 before or just after the vaccination and they get sick because the vaccine did not have enough time to provide protection. People are considered fully protected 2 weeks after their second dose of Pfizer, BioNTech, or Moderna CDC, or 2 weeks after Johnson & Johnson. You should keep using all the tools available to protect yourself until you are fully vaccinated. After you're fully vaccinated, you may be able to start doing some things you had stopped doing because of the pandemic. Learn more about what you could do here. So, here's another thing. Although COVID-19 vaccines are effective as keeping you from getting sick, scientists are still learning how vaccines prevent you from spreading the virus that causes COVID-19 to others, even if you do not have symptoms. But let's say we didn't do the vaccine. What's the solution? What we have done?
If we didn't do the vaccine, the solution would have been literally everybody wearing masks and everybody social distancing. But we know for a fact that there are individuals out there that do not like rules, do not like following rules. That would have been the absolute. If
we have too many cowboys in this country.
If every person in America were to follow social distancing, were to follow mask mandates, were to follow everything, then yes, it would have been way easier, way simpler.
It's not just that though. Too. Here's the other coin of that, and you got to recognize this. Some people have to go to work, no matter what.
Right. Right.
And they can't feed their family because our social safety net fucking sucks here.
Okay.
So my point is this. There's some people where they're self-employed, they don't have a job, they don't have sick days, they're not fortunate enough to have a job like that, and they have to work. If they don't go, they don't work. My mom was one of those people. They're self-employed, they don't show up, they don't work. What do? Well, it took the government to get a lot of people money. In other countries, I'm going to give you one, for example. In England, my buddy runs his own business. You get 80% of your pay. 80%. A lot of people would have been able to survive with the 80%. You had to fight for that. So I want people to think. So that also is a cause to it because it's like, fuck it. People, I'm not going to sit here and go poor. And then you hear stuff like, oh, well, we didn't have data on the masks. And then, Joe's going nuts over here. I think Joe's kind of half right. He just isn't a good messenger for it.
I give Joe a full Toxic Mike thumbs up.
Yeah. Joe said, you suck. But I'm going to talk to, so Alex said, thoughts on jobs requiring their employees to get vaccinated before returning to work. So I really think it's the type of job, but I really think they're going to treat it like a community decision, what makes people most comfortable. To me, it's something where you're going to have to, as an individual, ask yourself, don't stop making it make rib taste so good. They don't want to make me obese. That's right.
The whole thing with
office jobs specifically. So with office jobs, it's a great question.
Office jobs at 100% because they have multiple employees that are interacting on a daily basis. It's 100% up to them.
This is where as a business
individuals who are employed there have the opportunity to quit.
We've had issues like that here at Toxic where we've had to have discussions, and we're smaller, but we've had when you're a bigger job in an office, like you have to make the decision that's best for the business, right? You can't make the decision that's your ideological preference or whatever that may be, because we do all have our personal preferences, and you have to make the decision that's best for it. So if I was running an office, I would say, yeah, you have to get vaccinated. Okay, it costs money. We'll do it for free. Because there are certain things where you will get sent home. For example, I used to manage an AT&T store, and I had someone that came in with MRSA. They didn't know if it was airborne or not. If it's airborne, it's contagious. Okay, so that person had to go home. So if it's a perceived safety issue, yeah, because I mean, if you got COVID, you had to go home, right? Because it's contagious. If you don't want to get the shot, that's a real tough one. But for me, if I'm an individual company, and they don't, workers' rights isn't number one here in the States, even though we like to be under that fucking assumption. The companies are going to win out on that. You're going to have a hard time beating that one. So the question is, do you want to make life difficult and take that religious stand and die on that hill? Or do you just want to take the fucking shot? Are you going to turn into a zombie? No. If you don't, if it's that important to you, well, guess what? You can either sue or just quit, because that's what's going to happen. Now, I would make them fire me if that was me, and then I would sue them. Don't be stupid, because there's going to be precedent for this. But, in an office setting, you got to consider others. And that's the problem, is people don't want to sacrifice for others. They want to be they want to be an individual. They don't want to understand what people need to do to make things go back to normal. You can't have your cake and eat it too. If you're telling me you don't want the vaccine because you think, oh, well, you're an anti-vaxxer, I don't have patience for that. I think you're full of shit. Okay? Because there's so much shit people put in their bodies, so many different things, and you're a Google warrior. You know what I mean? I went to the CDC because are they right all the time? No, nobody is. Are they? Wow. Fuck you, Google. Did you hear that? It's crazy. It's listening to me. Probably listens to me have sex. So, I do think what Joe was saying is, do you need it? And I think he was saying it on do you need it as in, do you need it because, you're healthy? And he's, again, a comedian. He's an entertainer having a conversation. So, to me, I just don't have a huge problem with what he said because it's Joe Rogan. Who gives a fuck? People can have their opinions, and then everybody's like, "Oh, you're spreading misinformation." I didn't really feel like that was spreading misinformation. I felt like it was a bad opinion, and that's my opinion. But he said, "Look, don't do anything stupid. You should take care of yourself. If you're a healthy person, you're exercising all the time, and you're young, you're eating well. I don't think you need to worry about this." He could be right to a sense. I mean, we could have studies that come out that says he's right. So, to me, why beat him up over it? And Spotify doesn't give a fuck. You know why? Because you know why people listen to Joe Rogan? Because he's the guy that will say that shit, and that's why people listen to him. Money rules. They don't give a fuck about your feelings. They never have, and they never will. Am I right, Mike? I mean...
well, if you go down that road, yeah.
It's true. So, get off your keyboard and go do something to better yourself and put the fucking Big Mac down or the McRib red. So, the McRib I had once just for the shit of it, And, yeah, I almost turned into white trash. I actually grew a mullet instantly. Nothing against mullets, Jamie. You don't really have a real one. It doesn't count. It's a ponytail. But mullets and Crocs combined, that's super white trash. That's all I'm going to say. Do we know anybody that does both? Okay. I didn't think so. But listen, one more thing, and then we're gonna get out of here. Mike said we could run overtime, so fuck that. We're gonna do that. So I wanted to bring up Bill Gates. This is all kind of intertwined because everybody had a conspiracy theory on him. Oh, Bill Gates wants to put a chip up your butthole. He wants to track your dildo. He wants to, turn off your auxiliary button. No, I'm just joking on that one. But, he was the villain and the poster boy for conspiracy theories. And the reason why I bring this up is what annoys me about conspiracy theories is people want to look that deep and dig on something that's not fucking real when there is shit that you could dig in on deep that is real. So, why are countries like India and other countries getting the infections at a high rate in all these other countries? So the top tier countries that have money, they have gotten the vaccine. We're one of them. Guess who has all the patents for the vaccines? That's right, pharmaceutical companies, right? So, if you really wanted the world to, I don't know, get better, would you lift the patents of the vaccine in the interest of humankind? One would think, right? India is getting 300,000 new infections a day. 300,000. I'm surprised it didn't happen earlier in India. They have billions of people in that country. And it is a third world country. They make a lot of generic drugs there. But the M3 vest came back, and so we're welcome. Thank you. And that, Brad, I look forward to seeing you there. But if Bill Gates really cared like he said he did, and these other companies, their excuse for not wanting to do release the patents is, well, they don't want other countries to develop technology. I believe a quote was from one person, well, if China gets a hold of it with the Moderna vaccine, with the technology behind that, because there is some pretty high-grade technology behind those two vaccines. They're not traditional vaccines. The traditional vaccine that came out was the one that took longer in the Johnson & Johnson. That's why it's one dose. So, with that being said, they were like, oh, they might find a cure for cancer. Is that a bad thing? You know, and people hammer home on the stupidest shit when it's right out there in front of you. You know, and it was on the level of the Dr. Fauci excuse for saying we shouldn't be wearing masks because they don't have data that they work outside the hospital. No one believes that fucking bullshit. You know, sounds like a vacuum salesman. But, you know, that's your conspiracy theory. It's not a conspiracy. It's true. You can look it up. Why won't they release the vaccine patents? Interesting. And then they talk about all the investment for a lot of these drugs. That's bullshit. The public actually invests in these, not just vaccines, drugs in general. So they're not really incurring as much expense as they like. So they're protecting big pharma profits. I want to see you conspiracy theorists out there. Okay? I want to see you. Yeah, they're not in the business of saving lives. They're in the business, they're big. And they're in the business that make money and profit off human suffering. 100%. I want to see you people out there go after shit like that and get united after that. Not fucking QAnon, not drinking baby's blood, none of that bullshit. That's real shit right there. Okay? And to me, when we talk about stuff like that, that's stuff that you got to drop the hammer on. I mean, that's real. You can look that up. That's fact. It's easily out there, but everybody's just like, oh, it's not going on. It's cool. Oh, cool. What about QAnon? You know, oh, great. You know, thanks, guys, for not doing shit. Take all that fucking religion and do something about it in the right way. The other thing I wanted to say, and I didn't really get to bring this up the other week, is I'm tired of people saying, you be patriotic, you know, or do something for your country. You know what I want to hear? All these billionaires, okay, when are they going to be a patriot? When are they going to say, you know what? For my country, I'm going to make $2 billion less, and I'm going to put the jobs back in the country. When are we going to do that? Show me your patriotism. Put your money where your mouth is. Because guess what? A lot of you are fucking hot, rich windbags that never do it. I want to see some of these guys show their patriotism and invest in their country. To borrow from JFK, ask not what your country could do for you, ask what you could do for it. And the billionaires, I would like to challenge them to do that, because you're not. I hear every fucking excuse why, oh, the market, that's not the market rules, this, that, this flim-flam. Go fuck yourself. Because the truth is you're not a patriot. You take from the country, take it to another country, and don't give back. You know, union jobs, factory jobs, jobs that, you know, so your stock price can go up. You non-conscious having motherfuckers. And that is what people should get pissed at. But we get comfortable, we sit on our ass, and then we want to take the lazy attack point, which is on my keyboard, oh, QAnon, I know. They're drinking blood, adrenal blood. Oh, Alex Jones. Get the fuck out of here. Like, do something real. And real would be call those motherfuckers to the gate. Because the pitchforks are coming. I've heard billionaires say it. You could squeeze, and eventually pressure makes pipes burst. And I want to see them say, you know what? We should buy American. You know what we're going to do? We're going to make American. Don't say buy American. Let's say make it American. Bring it back here. You could do it for a profit cut. How much fucking money do you need where you need to see people suffer and the social safety net suffer? These motherfuckers don't want to pay corporate tax. They want to move their money offshores. Fuck that. And that's why a lot of people are like, you know what? I don't want to go back to work at all. Fuck it. They don't care. And that's where it's at right now. So now you have to incentivize people. It sucks because that hits us first on the ground level, and it doesn't hit those assholes because they're so rich, they're insulated from it. So please show me how to be a patriot by you actually taking the lead instead of just making profits and improving your country. Why don't you donate to the cause? I don't want your philanthropy, your bullshit Band-Aid for you to give money after you created the problem. You are the arsonist that started the fire. I can give you so many examples of people starting the problem, and then they come in and swoop in and be the philanthropist to save it. They do want to just flex on each other. It's 100%. There's some good ones out there. They're not all bad. But listen, Bill Gates, he's done a lot of good. A lot of good things that you could do. But we have this billionaire exceptionalism, to borrow a phrase from Crystal Ball in that show, The Rising on the Hill, is that, a billionaire can do it. No, fuck that. I'm tired of that. I'm tired of the let's rape for profit schemes. Let's, profits before everything else. You lead the way and you show us how to be an American and put everybody else first. You take the sacrifice because you got more in your satchel than everybody else combined. And with that, those assholes can take it deep. That's all I got to say about that. But that is it today, guys. I wanted to talk about that kind of stuff. It was on my mind. Some days we're going to talk about bugs that, Mike's going to shove in his mouth, hot nuts on hoagies, farts, dicks, and then we're going to take it and we're going to go totally 360 on you and get serious like this because that's how we roll here. We don't play it safe. We play it toxic. So with that being said, thanks for listening. Share it, like it, give it to your mom as a Mother's Day gift. It's coming up May 9th. Just for, if you want, I'll get you, if you get your mom to subscribe and you can prove it, I'll get you a free Taking a D t-shirt. I think Mike might even throw in a Toxic t-shirt. We'll see. I hear a cheap bird yelling in the background. But if you can prove it to me, share it, like it, save it, recommend it, whatever you need to do. The support is greatly appreciated, and it's free to do it. And everybody that listens, I love you, and thank you for listening, even though we get the rant on sometimes. I really wanted to take advantage of Mike saying we can go overtime, so I'm just fucking punching the shit out of it. But anyway, guys, with that being said, thank you for tuning in. And this is the Godfrey, not saying goodbye, just saying take it deep.